Hello everyone, welcome one more time. Today we are with Dorothy. She is from Nairobi. Nairobi? Nairobi. Sorry. And we will be talking about life experience, thoughts, and feelings. Hello, Dorothy.
Hello,
How old are you?
I'm 68.
68. How was your childhood?
It was good. I had a lovely childhood. It was really nice, and I lived in North Wales mainly.
Mhm.
When we came back from Nairobi, we lived in Shropshire, which is where my parents were living originally, and then we moved to North Wales. So from when I was about 5.
Mhm.
So I suppose I consider myself Welsh more than anything, rather than English. I mean, I don't really believe in borders.
Mhm.
I don't
Yes,
believe
exactly.
in, this is this country or that's that country. We're just people living on land, so we
Mhm.
shouldn't have countries. So anyway, whatever.
What did you learn from this stage, from your childhood?
From my childhood, I don't know. It's hard to say what you actually learned. I suppose because I was the third one of 4 children.
Mhm.
You are not. You're very tolerant. I think maybe. I think I'm tolerant of people. I'm very patient. I know I'm patient. I don't get, bothered about things very easily. I do eventually. I'm quite passionate about things, but I think I've learned to be just patient, really.
Mhm.
You have to wait when you're the third of 4.
Yeah.
You've got a baby brother and 2 older siblings.
Mhm.
You just do. But I mean, my childhood, because my father was a really interesting person. He did a lot of things. He made all our furniture, and he was very talented. But he was an incredibly strict man and very traditional in his values. Very, very traditional. And he towards women as well. Like, he didn't want my mother to work, and when she did work, he left home. And as children, he came back a week later, but he left because he was so angry about it. And he used to go, as children, we used to go, yay! Because he was so strict. My mother did everything, and then she went to work, and he was really angry about it. He didn't like it. But she wanted her own money because he was mean with his money. He never gave her enough she felt, to feed us properly and clothe us and give us what we wanted. So she just went back to work. She taught, she was teaching.
How was your adolescence?
Yeah, it was fine, but it was, as I said, it was difficult because I found it difficult in secondary school, with other children being so cruel to other children, and I found that really hurtful. I didn't like seeing people, if someone was poorer or they weren't as bright, or maybe there was something wrong with them. Other children used to pick on them, children in my class, and be horrible to them, and I just couldn't understand why people did that. Why would you be cruel and horrible to someone that was, wasn't as good as you, or not even as good, but that wasn't like you. They were just intolerant of people, and it was really unfair.
What did you learn from this stage?
It's hard to say. I think I learned that, if I studied hard and ignored what other people were saying. Because, you know, I think in schools, children always take the mickey out of you if you try and revise hard or do lots of work so you could get better. Because I think all through my early childhood I was always told that I was stupid and thick and whatever, and then when you get to secondary school I was determined to prove that that wasn't me. And which I think I did. So, you know, I learned that you persevere, I think, and if you work hard, then you will get what you want, and you have to ignore what people are saying about you.
Who say that? Also, what kind of people say
Well,
that?
I
In
think-
your school
yeah,
or in your
in-
house?
yeah.
Where did you?
No, I don't think in my house. My father was very intolerant of if you didn't understand something, because he was a very bright man, and you know he wanted us all to understand complicated things very quickly. And as children, that's not how children function.
Mm-hmm.
But in school, the teachers were like that. You know, they'd do things like, say, from an early age, I'd learned to sew, so I was very good at sewing because my mother taught me. She taught my sister and me from about 6 to sew. So I sewed very, very well. So, you know, we'd say make a skirt in school, and I remember one time making this skirt, and I nearly finished it, and the whole class, because it was all hand sewn, the rest of the class was still sort of sewing away, and I did the hem. So I turned it up because I knew how to do those things, and I took it to the teacher, and she sort of threw it at me and said the stitches are too big, you know, take it out and redo it. So I took it all out and redid it and brought it back, too small, you know, and that went on, and really, in reflection as an adult, she didn't know what to do with me because I could do it and I finished it. But as a child, you just think that's very, I think it's very hurtful. You sort of think, well, I'm no good at it, which was ridiculous when I think back on that. But as a child, you don't think that. You just think that you're not very good. You know, you never get praised for something. So
what did you learn from this stage?
I think, you know, I don't think I learned very much apart from you know, that I wasn't very good. Yes, and it was the same with when I got to the top class in juniors. Before I went to secondary school, when I was older, I played the violin. So I used to go out for violin lessons, and when I used to go out, the teacher used to say, now we can play, we can learn about apostrophe S's. Now she's gone out, because this is in front of me when I'm going for my lesson, because she's going to do her violin lesson, so we can learn about apostrophe S's, because she'll just put them everywhere if we teach her to do it. And I remember that, and I remember the teacher. They were cruel. They were very cruel. But as a child, again, you think, I'm no good at something. They're telling me I'm no good at something. You know, I put apostrophe S's everywhere. I wouldn't understand that.
How have you worked with yourself about all that stuff that you lived before in your childhood, in your adolescence? How have you worked with yourself, or how it affect your adulthood?
I think it affected it in that I was very unconfident about myself, very unconfident. You know, to the point that I found it hard. I was very shy, and I found it very hard to say go in shops and things like that, because it was a big thing. You know, it made me incredibly unconfident, I think I could have done a lot better in life if I'd had that confidence. Looking back now, I mean, it's fine. I enjoy my life now, so it doesn't matter. Yeah.
How was your, you explained already how was your relationship with your parents. What did you learn from your mom?
Oh, loads. My mum was a real fountain of knowledge. I mean, she'd been a teacher and she taught us everything, you know. She taught me to sew. I think she taught me compassion more than anything. She was a very kind person, and she was a very much a people person, you know, and I think she loved us all, but and so taught us all those kind of things. And she taught us to cook. She was really good. She taught me all about flowers, you know, and how to love flowers. She used to take all of us out to go for walks, and half the children that lived in the street, and take us into the woods, and if we found a flower, she'd tell us all about it. She had a huge knowledge of things. She was great. Yeah, she was really good in that sense. So I think she taught me an enormous amount. Really, yeah.
What did you learn from your father?
I learned a lot about gardening, about doing things, about calculating stuff. I don't know, beyond that, I'm sure there's lots of things he did teach me, or tried to teach me, but you didn't have that kind of relationship with him. If he wanted to tell you something, then you had to listen, but it's not always. I suppose I learnt about money from him, because he was very money orientated. You know.
Money orientated.
Yeah.
So how administrate?
Yes. Yeah. You know, he kept copious books and notes and things. Really, all the time, sat at his desk and worked every penny out. I mean, in some ways I rebelled against that, and I wouldn't do it.
Free.
Yeah, I didn't want to be tied to it.
How your adulthood is going?
Yeah, it's been good. Yeah, I've achieved what I wanted, really. I mean, I've had children, 2 children, a boy and a girl, so that's really nice. Mm-hmm. I always wanted children, so that's been great. It's been really good. Yeah, that's...
Did you have a cancer, or it is still there? It's still there.
Yeah, I've had basal cell skin cancer on my eye here. I had an operation, and on my back. Mm-hmm. I've had it. They take them out, not because they're particularly very bad cancers. Mm-hmm. They say it's the best cancer you can get, this skin cancer, but they like to remove them once they're there, because otherwise they can get worse, go deeper. Mm-hmm. In some cases, but it's not always. I mean, it doesn't particularly worry me. Mm-hmm. You know, despite my brother having cancer and is now dying from it, there's not a lot of cancer in the family. I don't think anybody else has died of cancer. People in our family die of heart attacks before they die of cancer, usually.
Heart attack.
Yeah. My mother had a triple bypass, so you know her heart was very weak. Mm-hmm. My brother's got something wrong with his heart as well, my eldest brother, and my younger brother had stents put in his heart when he stents.
Stents, okay.
Yeah, put in his heart because he had a heart attack when he was 54, I think, which is quite young, really. So, yeah.
What are you doing, or what did you do about it when you received the news about the cancer in the skin?
I just went along with what they told me to do. No, I didn't particularly. There's nothing that you can do about it. It is what it is. You just have to get it sorted, which is what they did. They took it out, and they were really, really quick and good. They saw it in December, and February I had it taken out, so a long time.
How did you change your life because that news?
I don't think I have done at all.
No, you carry on with the life.
Just carry on.
Okay.
There's no. I don't think it's. I don't want to do anything different. I'm doing now. I've retired from teaching and doing all those, earning money. I'm doing the things that I want to do, which is painting, and luckily hasn't affected my painting or anything apart from, the time when I had the operation to get rid of it.
So when you received the news about these issues, how you take it? Because a lot of people when they receive the news, it's like, oh, you have cancer, it's impact, in their lives. So it's good to listen that you didn't take, you didn't talk that like that.
I suppose you don't know how it affects you really, do you? It can manifest itself in lots of different ways. Maybe physically I don't feel as strong as I used to, but I do think mind and physical being they're so close. Your body, your mind can tell your body to do things that you don't necessarily think about. It's a very close relationship. And I just think, well, I've got to this age, I'm really happy with most of my life. There's bits of it that have been, but that's the same for everybody. There's bits of life that have not been nice. But, I've done lots of things that I wanted to do and I've really enjoyed them. I've been able to walk with my husband and we do lots of mountain walkings and we go abroad and walk in the mountains, and that's been fantastic. I've done loads of things in my life that I've always wanted to do. I've been to South America, to Patagonia, and places like that, which, there's lots of places I'd still like to go.
The world is very, very big.
I'd like to go back to Nairobi, I'd like to go to Mexico or, any of those Costa Rica places down there.
What is important in the life for you?
That's a hard one. I think obviously there's lots of things that are important to me, like my children and my husband. I'm not sure that I can pinpoint something that is absolutely important. My family are important to me. My sister, my brothers, they're important. There's lots of things that are important for me. Painting is really important for me, personally. For me, I've always painted since I was tiny. I've always painted. I started painting by drawing horses. I was obsessed. I wanted a horse. That's how I started drawing. And all my childhood, I asked my parents for I want a horse, can you get me a horse? Which, because you don't understand that, actually it's a little bit expensive to get a horse, you know. There was no
I
way.
feed the horse, or I feed people.
Yeah. So I used to draw them, huge horses on the walls, massive, great big ones made up from wallpaper, and put strips of used wallpaper on the wall, and then draw a huge horse. So that's how I started drawing. But I've always loved painting. Yeah.
What's your passion in the life?
Probably painting.
Painting.
Yeah.
Oh.
I really love.
How you
Drawing and
discovered your
painting.
passion? Because the horse.
I think
Yeah.
because of horses. Because of horses. And I think also going right back to when I was 5, 6, the first proper class that I was in, there was a woman called Mrs. Whittaker, and she was lovely. She was really kind and nice to you. And I remember I did a painting of children skipping down a hill, and she was really enthusiastic about it, you know, and said how good it was. And I think that influenced me quite a lot, that something could be good. You know?
Why you think art is important for humanity?
I think because it can give you a perception on the world that you wouldn't necessarily have. You know, it's a little insight into somebody's life and how they think, how they look. You know, even if it's something that you instantly recognise, it's it's just something that different that you can see. I suppose I don't really know what drives people to paint and draw, because in some ways, apart from it enhances your life, it's nice to have things around you that somebody's made. And there is an element of being able to have a skill that I really like. You know, the skillfulness of something, making something, sometimes making it recognisable, but not always. You know, I enjoy that. I enjoy doing that. Maybe I enjoy the praise you get from doing it, but not everybody likes your painting, so you don't always get the praise.
What do you do when are you having hard times?
I think I probably I retreat. I think I don't want to. It's not that I necessarily don't want to see people, but I don't particularly want to talk a lot. You know, when I just want to think about what's going on. That's why it's so nice to paint, because you can think about other things while you're painting, but you can also not think about them and just get totally involved in your painting. You don't have to, you can shut everything out, and it is that, you know, getting into somewhere that's completely just you and it. You know, and that's a release, isn't it? It helps you.
Thank you, Dorothy. It has been
It's
a
okay.
pleasure to talk with you, have this interview. Hope everyone enjoyed this interview, and take please whatever you need for your life, and see you in the next interview. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.